was home for a couple of days this week with a sick family member, and what that meant was watching a lot of television, news shows, especially on the day that the hurricane hit Puerto Rico, and then on the day that the earthquake in Mexico struck. Having 24-hour news intensifies our awareness of human suffering. And I became aware of the fact that the longer I watched, the more agitated I became, the more concerned I became, the more emotionally attached to the situation I became, and trended towards despair, wondering what can we do to help? How can we possibly make a difference? As I was kind of wrestling with those feelings and thinking about that process, I remembered a book that I had read a long time ago. This is Stanley Mooneyham's book, What Do You Say to a Hungry World? Stanley was the chair of World Vision International back in the day. And he wrote this book as a word to the church about how to respond to human suffering with compassion. And on page 21, this is what he wrote. He says, "Don't be afraid of emotion so long as it's honest." Colin Morris has said something very important to us about the impersonality of our world. He said, "I saw a starving man, and there was no gnawing pain in my belly. I saw a hunchback, and my own back did not ache. I watched a pathetic procession of refugees being herded back and forth sleeplessly, and I slept well that night." The theologians call it identification, and it's worth 50 pages in a reputable textbook. But it's easier to read 50 pages than it is to feel one pang. And so Stanley concluded, "For your sake and for the sake of the world, I hope that you will allow yourself to feel the suffering of others. For feeling will lead to identification, and it's here that creative compassion begins."